You're live. I redo this. There's a phone call I had to pick up. But this is fatherhood 101. Fatherhood 101 in relationship to teaching your kids early on some certain topics that are I feel are very important and has been advocated by FBI, CIA, as well as your local police department and state. Teaching your kids the certain things that we're going to talk about might help them in the future in the event that thing happens. Anyways, let me tell you a story real quick. I was sent this story about an individual that was in Target. Look, so this lady walked into Target, noticed that there was this creeper looking man that was spotting out or looking at this girl and just following this girl around the whole entire store at Target. Finally, the lady got the courage to walk up to the girl and say, "Hey, come with me. Where's your parents?" And the young girl was like, "My parent is in the restroom." That lady waited with that kid till that parent came out and explained to the parent, like, "Hey, don't be alarmed, don't freak out, don't even look, but there's a guy that's following you or following your daughter, and I'm not sure if you know him." And the lady looked, is like, "Hell no, I don't even know this dude." So they walked to the store manager or walked up to the counter and said, "Hey, can I talk to your store manager? There's something I need to talk to him or her about." Store manager comes out and the lady explains what's going on, and that manager called the police. They turn around, try looking for this dude, couldn't find him. The lady and the daughter finally said, "You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm just leaving the store." They dropped all their shit, started walking to their car, and the lady who like was the whistleblower was like, "Let me walk with you. Let me walk with you to make sure that you make it." They get to the car, and as it turns out, there's a van, that creeper looking van. You know what I'm saying? Like no marks, no nothing, just a creeper looking van that was parked next to their car. The gentleman was in there and gave that lady, that mom, as well as the whistleblower that looked like, "Oh, you effing caught me." He drives off, heads, and this is Target now, heads towards Target. There's a man there looking creeper status too that had a walkie-talkie. So both of them had walkie-talkies, picked this dude up. That dude had to be the spotter. That lady, like those ladies broke down crying, you know what I'm saying? And I felt that because it was like, damn, like if it wasn't for that lady who was aware enough to look at the situation and grab that young girl and be like, "Hey, come with me," that girl be missing right now. I'm saying all that because we live in crazy times where kids are just getting plucked, like if you're not careful as a parent, like you turn around, your kid might be gone. And I want to just address something like you got to start teaching your kids stuff now in the event some weird things happen in the future, or like just be prepared. There's no such thing as being over prepared. This is one of those topics where I feel like it needs to be nailed on the wall and we all need to pay attention to it. So look, the things that I've been teaching my girls. She's 3 years old. The other one's 1.5. 3-year-old talks real well. So we're learning how to spell our names. She knows her first name and she almost knows how to spell her last name. This is important because in the event, something happens where she knows not to answer the door, first off, not to ever answer the door unless it's me that's with her answering the door. We have door locks that are high up, so no one of her stature can get to the actual lock itself. But in the event, man, I hate talking about this shit because it gets me irritated. In the event like something happens, I need her to be able to tell maybe the cops or whoever's responsible who she is, so they can find her in a database and get her back to me. Okay, so I'm teaching her last name, how to spell it. She knows her first name. Next thing is we're going to try to teach her phone numbers. My phone number, Alyssa's phone. Like we need to teach her phone numbers in the event something happens. She can articulate, her name, how to spell it, phone number. I also want her to know her address. Now, this one's a little tricky because there's a lot of things involved in the address, but just a ballpark, even just the state. I hate talking about this, but man, like in the event something happens in the future, You got to teach your kids to be prepared on certain topics. And this is not an easy topic to talk about. There's so many different things happening in the world that I feel like this gets overshadowed. Like the school systems being talked about, what are the things that are happening in Gaza's happening, and that's being talked about. What's happening with the economy has been, but no one's talking about all the different kidnappings that are happening that have stories but are untold and now unsolved. You know what I'm saying? So for your parents that are watching this, like we got to really pay attention, be on the lookout. You're walking in Target, you're used to having a lot of things in your hands. I'll be the first one to tell you, like, I normally don't. I normally don't go into a store and grab a cart because I like putting things in my hands. Like I'm a hunter. You know what I'm saying? Like I put things in my hands, and whatever I'm carrying, even if I have my girls, like that's what we're getting. But now I'm like, yo, we're gonna get a cart. I'm gonna put both of y'all in the cart. If the oldest is not in the cart, she's holding my hand the whole entire time. Cause I'll be damned, if someone gives her a look, I'll be damned. I'll swing, bro. I'm swinging. Um, I'm not gonna talk about like personal protection or anything, but I am getting my concealed license in Oregon. I have a concealed for Virginia. But this is like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like parents, if you're watching this, parents, like it's such a it's just a jacked up topic to really be talking about. The protection of our kids is a subject that I don't think is necessarily voiced in the media. Social media, of course, like you look on Instagram, man, like if you start looking up like these stories that are coming out about creepers going into stores and following kids, like it's out there. It's really out there. Shout out to the parents who are aware of this. And like as a community, as a parents community, when you walk into a store and you're a parent or you're not a parent, whatever it is, man, as a community, we gotta look out for each other. There's these fucking creepers out there. I'll be damned, man. I'll be damned. If they took my daughter, man, I don't want to think about it, but I have to because it's the responsibility of the parents to be vigilant of this sort of topic, to be on top of it. Now, I have not I have not personally experienced any of the things that come to mind when it comes to these kidnappings, but I've heard a lot of stories and it happens everywhere. And I think that's what the parent community needs to understand is that it's happening everywhere. It's not just exclusive to a region or a city. It's literally happening everywhere and it can happen to anybody. So now like I'm more cognizant of my surroundings. I always have been, but not for this certain topic. Ever since I became a parent, like in fatherhood, you start discovering that there's a lot of things out there that you're not quite aware of, and you're not aware of it till it actually happens to you. So I've always been told a smart person learns from the mistakes, a wise person learns from others. This is one emphasis that we can look at and just get really wise on. And I'm just an advocate for anybody out there watching this that we got to start teaching our kids their first and last name. I know like 3 years old sounds kind of young, but I'll be damned, man. 3 years old sounds young, but when that 3 year old knows their first and last name, it might be that thing that saves them. Phone numbers, addresses, like these are things that might save them. Parents' names, teaching like being mom and dad. My daughter knows my name for real. My name is Jesse. Jesse, you know what I'm saying? Like she knows my name. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that because if she ever gets in a situation and let's say she gets lost in the store and another parent grabs this young girl, right? Grab this young girl. There might be somebody out there trying to creep up on them. She might be able to articulate like my dad or my mom, this is their name. They can get on intercom. Hey, blah, 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 blah. We got your blah, 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 blah. Come pick her up at this location. Like that smooth transaction and transition right there. So I guess what I'm saying is, look, man, we can't always be there. We want to be there at every occasion. We want to hold their hand, but we can't always. There's times when things just don't overlap each other as well as we wanted to. So as parents in a community, this is one thing that we got to do for each other, to each other, and just be a community, right? Look out for each other when we're in these stores and you see a parent is having a hard time and that young kid is being unruly and just running around. It's up to us to be a community and just look to our left and right and figure out like, yo, is this a situation where we need to be alert? There's cameras everywhere, but these effing creepers don't care about cameras. They care about that payday. They care about that man f that. They care about the payday because that's what equivalents. That's what they equal to. It's a payday, which is jacked up to say. So I'm just saying, all right. Now I'm not trying to talk y'all up and be like a pastor or anything, but I'm just advocating that as parents, especially these times, I'm not trying to scare you. We gotta look out for each other. When you walk into a store, it's not just about you, it's about everybody. Let's look out for each other. I'm gonna look out for every parent out there that I see, every young girl or every young boy. Like I'm gonna be vigilant and make sure that your parents are near you, that you're being looked after, that that something's on the up and up. You know what I'm saying? Like they were in good status. I'm gonna be that parent that's I'm gonna be a whistleblower, bro, because I'll be damned, man, if this happens to a person in my vicinity, like if within my confined space, if this happens, I'll be damned. I'll feel like it's my fault too. So that's where I'm at. Fatherhood's dope. I got two daughters. Daughter, like any kid could get kidnapped, you know what I'm saying? Especially, what's crazy, right? You know what's crazy is that a lot of us parents don't cut our boys' hair. I don't have a boy, I got two girls. A lot of parents don't cut their boys' hair until like a certain age, so like 5. They got long hair. So a lot of these nappings, they're trying to get girls. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying cut your boys' hair, but I'm just letting you know, like, we got to be aware, man. We just have to be aware. We have to keep this idea in our pocket because you never know. And we always be saying, like, oh, that won't ever happen to me, bro. Like, cut that shit out, man. We gotta be a community. That's all I gotta say. Teach our kids their names, their full names, first and last name. Try to teach them that phone number, that address. Make sure that they know your actual real name. That you're not just mom and dad. That you're not just them, but you're also Jesse. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, that's all I gotta say on this topic. This is touchy for me because man, I'm tired of watching these stories about these nappings. Anyways, deuces.